let's start. So what we covered yesterday, this is what we are discussing with distributed switch, how to create, how to configure, how to add the host into distributed switch, and how we can create a multiple port groups within the distributed switch. And we have also seen a couple of things, how it will be replicated into each host, the configuration I'm talking about. Okay, those are few things we discussed. Also, we discussed a couple of scenarios called one single point of failure, which shouldn't happen with the VMware due to a distributed switch that we discussed. So today, what we are going to do, we're going to do small migration. We call it as live migration in the sense servers will be up and running. Okay, let me build a scenario like this. Take the same example which we did yesterday. Okay, so you have, I'm sorry, let me take some bigger picture. You have 3 hosts, right? We have 3 hosts configured and with, I'm sorry, configured with I'm not going to represent the kernel port switch. Okay, I'm more interested in port groups today because we are not touching the kernel port anymore. We'll see if time permits after this test. We'll discuss more about kernel port migration and stuff. But you have one port group here. Which port group? This is standard switch, right? vSphere standard switch. It has 3 port groups, and you have some of the VMs here. I guess 3 VMs are there, and 2 of them connected on this. One is connected on a different port group. This is the existing configuration, right? So what we are going to do, we are going to create one more VM here and put it on this VLAN. Also, you have same configuration over here, but I haven't created any virtual machines. Let's create three VMs at least on each host. 3 VMs on each host, and let's assign some of the IP addresses. Okay, so I'll put everything on different VLANs or different port groups, I'll say. Okay, so let's draw the, imagine there is a kernel port here, don't forget. Okay, this is again vSphere standard switch. vSphere standard switch. How many port groups? Again 3 port groups, and one VM here, one VM running on this. So what we did, we have configured, imagine all are connected on a switch. It is not a single switch. Remember, customer is accessing from this side. Remember, this is not the one switch, multiple switches based on the high availability. This is also connected. Right, like this. What we did, all the 3 hosts are managed via vCenter, and vCenter has one distributed switch with 2 uplinks. Okay, and it has some 4 or 5 port groups. right? So this we configure. So what happens when you configure this? It will automatically deploy switch here when you add a host into distributed switch. This we discussed yesterday, remember? Okay.
Yes, yes.
Scenario will take some time to test, but I want to do this test in live systems. Means systems are up and running, customers are using it, and then see, this is how it looks like. What is this? VDS, vSphere distributed switch. Okay, so if end users or customers accessing, okay, okay, users are accessing the machines or their production workloads over this, like if this VM you want to access, so the traffic will come here and it will come with any of these cable and he can access it, right? Now the aim is we are sending the data over these two cables. Okay, now you have a standard switch. I want to migrate these VMs onto distributor switch like this, like this. Understood? Means if a customer is trying to access the same machine, this goes via these two cables and traffic will come via distributed switch. Okay, but I want to make sure this should happen without any downtime in customer environment. Means customer should not know or should not face any issues while doing the migration. This you call it as live migration from standard networking to distributed networking. Any real-time scenarios for this? If you can give me some example. Okay, I'm sorry. Uh, any real? Sorry, I'm asking about any real-time scenarios that you guys come across. Can think of. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. I'm asking. Can you think of any real-time scenarios with this? So I'll explain one scenario later on. Meanwhile, let's start the testing. Yeah. Let's see. So distributed switch is already created. VLAN triple line. It's of no use. There is no such VLAN. For the namesake I have created yesterday, right? Is there any physical VLAN? Is there any physical VLAN with the name called triple line or with the IP range what we have mentioned here? Let's see. VLAN management, VLAN settings. So there is no triple line VLAN, right? So what I will do, I'll remove this. So we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 4 different VLANs. But in standard switch, see the difference between a standard switch port groups and a distributed switch port groups. I'm just showing the uh, graphical representation. Okay, so looks like both are having different icons, right? So let's use this for today. We'll use this because depreciated in, we recommend to switching all the new modern HTML5 based display client, primary client, and we're reverting the flash based. And it's okay. So what I will do, I have 3 different ESXi hosts. On this host, how many VMs are running? We have 3 VMs. Okay, and let's go to networks. We have both distributed as well as standard, right? 3 standard and 4 distributed port groups. Okay, now on VLAN 10, 2 VMs are running. 2 VMs are running. On VLAN 20, 1 VM is running. What I will do, Windows Server, I'll put it on VLAN 30. Edit. Now, if you look at, you have all the port groups. VDS also there. If you select the VDS, show more networks, it is also has everything. So I'll put it on VLAN 40. I'm sorry, my bad. I'll put it on VLAN 40. Go back to the first. On the first host, you see 3 you see on the first host, I'm really sorry. Okay, you see 1, 2, 3 port groups are there. On each port group, you have one VM running. It means on the first host, if you go to picture, this one, right? Go to this picture. Forget about this. I'm sorry. Forget about that. You have 3 VMs. All the 3 VMs are running on 3 different VLANs. Let me remove this aside. Okay, so you have a 3 VMs in 3 different port groups. Okay, let me create the same setup on the other hosts as well. How to do that? Let's do it quickly. So one missing part is no storage. Let me add some storage. We'll discuss these data stores and all later on. Local 02. Local 03. Okay, on the both the host, I have created some data store from the local storage. Okay, now clone machine VM4. put it on second host. Okay, I'll put it on second host and the local data store, customize hardware. I'll put on VLAN 10. Okay, clone virtual machine VM5. Right? I need VMs on each host and each VLAN as well. Customize. This is on VLAN 20. Finish. And VM6 on second host. This on the same data store. Imagine it is on VLAN 40. If I want, I can put directly on the distributed switch as well, but I want to show you the migration, not the VLAN, how you place the VMs in different VLANs and stuff. Clone VM7, put it on third host. VLAN 40, it's okay. VM8 on the third host. It looks like it is very simple, but assigning IP address will take a huge time, man. So let's do it quickly. VM9, last one. Let me see on which VLAN the VMs are missing here. VLAN 40. What are the VMs running on VLAN port 40? 7 and 8. Edit settings. 20. 20. 10. Okay, now I need one VM on VLAN 10. That's it. VM9. Guys, following or just watching the movie? Hello? Yeah, I'm asking you guys are following me or just watching the movie?
Sir, actually, I'm working also simultaneously side by side, so it's becoming difficult to understand the things.
Yeah. See, just concentrate. So far, I just built the lab. We'll do the testing now. Okay. So, what I did, if you look at this picture, very simple. You have a vCenter, you have a distributed switch, right? You have configured all these things. And what I did, I created three VMs on each host. Host 1, 3 VMs, host 2, 3 VMs, host 3, 3 VMs. Everything is running on standard switch, standard switch, standard switch. So I will assign different IP addresses to these machines. Okay, respect to VLAN. So if this is VLAN 10, 20, 40, right? So what I will do, I'll assign the respect to IP addresses. So let me do it quickly. VM1 10 dot, sorry, 192 168 10 dot 101. Imagine VLAN 1 VM. or else VLAN 10 VMs. How to identify? I'll show you. VLAN 10 VM2 192.168.10.102. This is done. Okay, so 20 20 20, same IPS I'll give. You're getting my point? These are the IPS which I'm going to assign to each and every virtual machine. VLAN, sorry. Agree with this numbers?
Yes.
Now all these VMs are running on standard networking or standard switch. Now I want to migrate these VMs onto distributed switch. Means earlier when customer is trying to access, he is accessing like this. Now I'm saying I will do migration like this. When the customer is accessing, he will access like this. That is only the difference. Okay, means with existing standard switch is having some issues, difficulties, management is difficult, day-to-day operations is very difficult, and if you want to change something, you need to take a lot of approvals and stuff. These things are there. So if you migrate these into distributed switch, okay, because you have an enterprise plus license and you can use this feature, so let's start using it. Let's do the migration. Okay, so it will take 5 to 10 minutes for me to assign these 9 IP addresses to 9 machines because the graphical user interface won't work properly. Okay, so you guys can watch it. Once the IP assignment is done, then we can start migrating the things. Ping 192.168.10.101. It's not pinging. So how to assign the IP address? Go to what I'll do, I'll select all the machines and I power on at once. All are powered on. See, I powered on all the machines. Now the difficult part is I want to identify on each cluster, sorry, on a cluster level, cluster cluster level networks. You have VLAN 10 3 VMs, VLAN 20 3 VMs, VLAN 40 3 VMs, right? Overall 9 VMs. I'll pick all the VLAN 10 VMs first. VLAN 10, VM4, VM9, and VM1, Windows Server 1, which is running on 10. So how to assign the IP address? Open console, remote console. Okay, so how to assign? Control panel 192.168.10.101. What is the gateway? 10.1. If you want to send the traffic to Google, use this. So assign the IP, minimize this. You see, started pinging. Machine is started pinging. Okay, so 102. We can close this out, and this is second machine, right? One ninety two, 168, 10.102. Gateway is 1. Again, done. So close this out. See, started pinging. 103 for fourth machine. 103. Done. Close this out. 103 is also pinging. Similarly, I have to assign IPs for another 6 machines. Meanwhile, let me close this remote consoles. 20 Linux server 1, open console. 6820.101. Right? Then close. Third one. 103. Done. Close this out. Let's see. Pinging, pinging, pinging. Right. Now, again, let me close this out. Go to VLAN 40. The problem is these VMs are very small, tiny VMs. Okay. If you assign IP, it will start functioning. If you reboot it, you will lose the configuration. Okay, so be careful if you guys want to do the practice. 40.101 is done. Okay, 102. Okay, last one. 68 40.103. Done. Okay, so let's see. Pinging, pinging, ping. Now, how the traffic is going now? See, I'm the user. I have my laptop. From my laptop, What is my IP? 192.168.1.140s. Let's say 141. Okay. Now today I have connected through Wi-Fi, so I got the DHCP IP. If I connect it through the LAN cable, I'll get some static IP. That's different. Okay. So ping 192.168.110.101. This is the VM somewhere on ESXi host, one of the VM. This one, let's say. So trace RT 192.168.10.101. Doesn't make any difference because you'll get it in two hops. Third hop, you go to the destination. It will go to Wi-Fi router. From Wi-Fi router, it will go to switch. From switch, it will go to respective VM. Done? Got it? Now, even if you are moving from standard switch to distributed switch, there is no difference in trace route because from here, from my laptop to there is a Wi-Fi router. From Wi-Fi router, it is connected to switch. So what is the IP for this? 192.168.1.100. What is the IP for this? 192.168.1.1. Got it? So I want to migrate these machines from these standard switch 1, 2, 3 to distributed switch. So how to do that? You go to distributed switch, right click, migrate VMs from another network. Migrate VMs from another network. So here you need to select, specify the source network from where you want to migrate. I'll say standard port groups, distributed port groups. Please remember carefully. Okay. I'll select standard, and from where you want to migrate, destination is distributed VLAN 10. If I put it on VLAN 20, what will happen?
Will not.
It will not ping, right? Because respective VLANs, it should be matched. Let's do the test. What I will do, ping 192.168.110.101. Only one machine I'll migrate. Okay, but by mistakenly, if I place it in VLAN 20, what happens? Let's see. I'm saying from VLAN 10, from standard port group VLAN 10 to distributed port group VLAN 20, which is wrong. Still, we'll go ahead and do it. Next, I will not migrate all the machines. I will not migrate all the machines. Let's see what is this. Okay, I don't know for which server I gave the 101, right? It's hard to remember. I'll ping all of them. What happens? One should go away or one should stop pinging. 10.103. So now all the three machines are pinging, right? All the three machines are pinging. I'll select the first one next, because if I select all the three, you will lose connectivity for all the three. I don't want to impact multiple customers at a single time or multiple customers with my mistake. So what I will do, first I want to make sure whether I'm doing it correctly or not. This process you call it as POC, proof of concept in technical words. Means you are as an expert you are you have to make sure, what I can say, yeah, you have to make sure things will work properly. For that you will do some proof of concept work in the backend before you implement anything in the production. Are you aware of this process? Or have you heard of this term? POC? POC. Okay, that we'll explain later on. Let's consider this as a POC. I'm doing it for one machine. Next, finish. The moment I click finish, you'll see one should start responding. See, 101 is gone. Rest all working. 101 is gone.
Yes, yes.
Means if you go to vCenter and on VLAN 10, only 2 VMs left. Out of 3, one is gone. If we go to app, distributed switch app, VLAN 20 VMs, you'll see one VLAN came here, but by mistakenly it came here because it should be in VLAN 10. You migrated into VLAN 20. That messed up, and customer is facing downtime now because you said I'm going to migrate the machine from one network to another network. Okay, this won't impact anything. Normally, what you people do, Vivek and Sunil, what you people do, if you want to do some changes, you will open the CRQ change request, and you will write down all the steps what you are going to perform. Agree or disagree? Now, installation plan, implementation plan, backout plan. Right? In that, you have mentioned saying no customer downtime. Now there is a downtime. What you will justify? You getting my point?
Yeah.
Okay, so in this case, what we will do, we'll simply revert it back. Was something wrong? Let me do one thing. Let me migrate back to original. Migrate. Where is the source? Source is app VLAN 20. Destination is VLAN 10 in the standard network. Only one VM which is running. Next, finish. List. Now it will start pinging again. See? Okay, thank God. I made some mistake. Now it is reverted. Okay, cancel the change. We'll plan it for next weekend. You understood what I'm trying to say?
Yes, yes.
Okay, now you need to properly plan it. Otherwise, multiple customers will impact due to these kind of changes because you are moving the machines in bulk. Okay, so what went wrong? Actually, from VLAN 10, which is in standard network, to VLAN 10, which is in distributed network, I need to migrate to respect to VLANs only. So first you need to make a list of things. What needs to be done? Standard to distributed. VLAN 10. What is the VLAN name here? Web underscore VLAN 10 is the destination for this. You should know this. Web underscore VLAN 10 is the destination. VLAN 20. App underscore VLAN 20 is the destination. VLAN 30. There is no VLAN 30 here. One
VLAN
second.
40.
Class law. Yes, sir. VLAN 40. So DMZ underscore VLAN 40. VLAN 30 is not there here. Okay. But customer asked me, can you please create a VLAN 30 because in future I'm going to use it. So what I did, db underscore VLAN 30 I have created here. If you look at here, db underscore VLAN 30 is created. It's fine. So in short, your change covers CRQ covers 3 migrations plus 1 new port group, which is VLAN 30. You have to create a new port group, means you are modifying the switch. If you are modifying the switch, you need to have a change, right? This is the plan. Understood?
Yes.
Nice. Okay, let's go ahead and do the migration from VLAN 10 to web VLAN 10. Now you will see after the migration, you will not face any issues. All these 3 servers should start pinging. There is no downtime. How to do that? Select the distributed switch, migrate from VLAN 10, which is from standard network, to web VLAN 10, which is from VDS. If there is nothing here, means standard. Next, select all the 3 machines. How many VMs you will have in your real time? You will have in your lab, you have 3 hosts. I've created test machines, 3 test machines. In your real time, you'll have hundreds of hosts and around hundreds of VMs in the same VLAN. So if you made a mistake, hundreds of VMs will go down. You getting my point? Okay, so be very careful. Finish. Done. See, you will not see any ping loss. You will not see any ping loss. All the machines are running, right? Just a fraction of milliseconds delay while migrating. So means what I did remember VLAN 10 one machine I migrated here, VLAN 10 one machine I migrated here, VLAN 10 one machine I migrated here, like this. Getting my point? Let me do it
Yes.
for the VLAN 20. So 20.102 it's pinging. 20.103 it's pinging. 20.101 also pinging. Okay, all the 3 are working. So let me do the migration for VLAN 20. I click on the distributed switch, migrate from standard VLAN 20 to distributed VLAN 20, app VLAN 20. Okay, next all the 3 VMs which are running on VLAN 20, finish. That's it, done. Now you'll see all the 3 VMs are running without an issue. There's no downtime at all. Okay, let's see. Or how you make sure whether these are migrated or not. If you go to VLAN 20 VMs, you'll see 3 VMs. If you go to standard VLAN 20, all are gone. But VLAN 10, all are gone. VLAN 40, you still see 3 VMs. So once we migrate these 3, you should see all these VMs will migrate to DMZ VLAN 40 here. You should see the VMs are coming up here. So how to? Let's do the migration for the last one as well. Anyway, we are sure that nothing is impacted so far, so I'm not testing anything now, or else only I'll test one machine. 40.101 it's pinging. Okay, so we run 40 DMZ, we run 40. Next you'll see all the 3 VMs, they will migrate onto VLAN 40 now. So if you come here, all the VMs are coming up. Okay, let it reload. Some issue. It's okay. So VLAN 40, where is VLAN 40 VMs? You'll see all the VMs are populated here. And VLAN 10 VMs, sorry, on the standard switch, nothing. So see, VLAN 40 is pinging without an issue. Now I have migrated everything onto distributed switch from standard switching. So what is the purpose of this switch now? Is there any use of this switch? Hello?
Not now.
Okay, there is no use with this switch. There's no use with this switch. There's no use with this switch. Can I remove these 3 switches so that I'll get these 2 cables free?
Yes.
These 2 cables, I'll get it free. So how to do that? Let me go to each host. Now you look at distributed switch. On a distributed switch, you'll see one VM running on one port group. You see? And minimize this. Go to standard switch. kernel port anyway. We are not touching this. Minimize this. Second one, standard switch, 0 VMs, 0 VMs, 0 VMs. Nothing is running on this. Okay, so you can simply remove the switch. Switch is gone. On the second host, distributed switch, 1 VM. 3 VMs are running, and on the standard switch, the port groups are empty. Select, remove the switch. Okay, if you go to physical adapters, now switch, these two cables are used for switch 0 kernel port, and these two cables are used for distributed switch, and 2 and 3 I've removed the switch, so it got free now. Okay, if you go to third host, you'll see all the 6 are occupied. But if I go to switches, distributed switch, you have a production running. Okay, standard switch 0 kernel port is running. Okay, standard switch 1, there's nothing running. This is not okay, remove it. Gone. Now you go to physical adapters, you see these two cables are free. Understood what I did so far? And you understood why I needed 6 cables in the previous sessions. I said blindly add 6 cables, and we'll see what is the significance of 6 cables. Now you got some idea why we need these many cables, why we are using it. Okay, nice. Understood? Or everything is on air, over the head? Tell me something.
I understand.
Hmm? Gone? Okay. So what is the scenario? Vivek, you there?
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm there. Actually, I'm on
Yeah,
another
it's
call
okay.
also
Yeah, okay.
simultaneously.
Yeah, let's understand one simple scenario why we need to do this. So you have one host. I'm not representing all the 6 hosts, sorry, all the 3 hosts. Imagine you have 2 cables, and you have 2 more cables, and you have 2 more cables. So this is ideally the configuration is like this. Okay, switch 1, switch 2. Ideally the configuration is like this. Switch 1, switch 2, and you have one more set of switches. Okay, I'm explaining. Well, you can build your own scenarios like this. 1 and 2. These are physical switches I'm talking about. Why you need two switches? Because of you need redundancy, right? So you have VPN somewhere, and everything is routed to here only. There is no other alternative. Everything is routed to VPN. Customer is accessing like this. Now I'll say these two are management purpose, means VMware admins or employees who are responsible for managing the VMware infrastructure, they will use this kernel port. Now I said I have one more network called standard switch. You have some port groups, and some VMs are running over here like this, right? Imagine you have two kind of setups. One is 1 GB network, another one is 10 GB. Normally people call it as copper networking, 10 GB network. Means customer is looking at upgrading their network from 1 GB to 10 GB Ethernet. If you want, you can simply Google it. 1 GB versus 10 GB Ethernet. See, this is 10 GB cable. So this is fiber cable. Fiber cable. Okay, let me show you. 1 GB Ethernet. So this is normal 1 GB Ethernet ports, and you'll have your normal cables, right? What do you? These are normal cables, right? Which you will use it in your home as well, anywhere. RJ45,
Like Cat 6.
Cat 6, right? Cat 6. This supports 1 Gbps, but there are some other. There are some other cables. Oh, I'm sorry. Some other cables like this. You'll see cables or ports like this. Black cables.
Fiber, total
No,
fiber.
no, no, not the fiber. It's not the fiber. Copper. These are copper cables. This supports 10 GB Ethernet. Okay, so you'll see modules like this, and 10 GB switch module also, something called like that. You'll see 10 GB ports like this. Okay, normal Ethernet ports looks like this, and 10 GB, imagine 10 GB SFPs, you'll see like this. So you can insert that module inside this port. So in this picture, imagine this is 10 GB network, newly built 10 GB network. Means you have a 10 GB ports here and 10 GB switches. These two are 10 GB switches. And from here you have a VPN connectivity, which is also supports around 10 GB or something. Okay, imagine. And you created distributed switch. Okay, and connected like this. Now previously customer is using this, which is 1 GB network. Now customer want to upgrade their network to 10 GB. What you can do, you can have a physical connectivity, physical cabling and stuff. You need to properly plan it. And on 1 GB network, you have around 20 or 30 or 200, 500, how many number of VLANs based on the customer size. You need to create all those VLANs on do the cabling like this and create a distributed switch with the proper port group notations. Okay, now once this is done, so you can simply point these VMs to here. What I did so far, migration, live migration. You remove the switch. Now earlier these VMs are communicating over 1 GB channel. Now these VMs will start communicating over 10 GB channel. This is how you will upgrade your network from 1 GB to 10 GB. When the network team is doing backend network upgrade, how you will migrate your VMs without any downtime from one network to another network, so that customer will see the fastness. You getting my point? I have represented this for one host. If you have n number of hosts, the procedure is remains same. But the thing is, you need to make sure these port groups and the trunk ports and the physical networking side, everything is properly configured. If someone did some mistake at the physical level or at the VM level, while creating the distributed switch or while creating the physical port groups or adding the uh, trunk uh, trunk VLANs or VLAN tagging at each port, if someone did some mistake, then you will see unwanted downtimes in customer environment, because you are planning to migrate large number of VMs from one host to one network to another network. Understood? Same thing, the same scenario, procedure will not change. Whatever the steps that I did, it will not change. Whatever the things that I documented for the change implementation plan will not change. Only thing is the impact you cannot predict. If it is a bigger environment, you need to be 100% sure you're not doing any mistake. If it is small environment, it's fine. You request the customer, hang on for 2 minutes, I'll change it. You can simply change it. If you're working for a big customer's environment or bigger infrastructure, you have to be very careful while doing this kind of activity. Okay, got it?
Yes.
Any questions? No? Good? All right, let me stop here.